Hey.
We're stepping on the book.
He is stepping on the book. Can you take that?
I find dinosaurs. He's fighting. He's fighting.
Can you take...
You nasty dog. You nasty dog.
Good morning, my lovelies. How's it going? It's March. In fact, it's March 1st as I'm standing here right now. I have coffee. I am probably going to sit down and try and finish Genesis because I didn't quite get Genesis done. I got almost all of it done, which, you know what? I'm getting into God's Word. I don't care if I finish a book. That's not the goal. I mean, yeah, that's the goal of writing out the entire Bible, but the main goal is just spending time in God's Word. I absolutely love the end of Genesis because it's Joseph's story, and there's so much you can glean from Joseph's story. Like, the amount of forgiveness he has at the end for his brothers is just amazing, and it's something we can strive to be like, because whenever somebody wrongs us, yes, it hurts in the moment, but you know, maybe God is going to use that for good. What is this? This is my first vlog of March, and funny enough, the first book that I am going to read in March has a green cover. This vlog is going to be me getting through the 3 books that are going to be the easiest to get through, and that is my Kindle books. Why are these the easiest? Because I read my Kindle when I'm nursing, some of the times. But for March, to get off my phone, except for when I'm recording, I'm going to be reading while I nurse. And when you have an almost 3-month-old, he eats a lot, especially my little chunky monkey. But more than a pair of jeans, I am on page 2, and I don't know if I'm gonna like this Rhodian. Oh, I'm gonna give her a benefit of the doubt. I mean, it's only page 2. Oh, you want to know where my first red flag went? Working as an influencer, dash. It's a real job, dash. We got an influencer. I'm not hating on influencers. It's just majority of influencers are very selfish nowadays. They probably didn't start out that way, but a lot of influencers, it's all about their content, all about what they do, all about this, and they don't really take in consideration other people. And I have that in another red flag here, and that's when her taking photos of cowboys. First of all, that's just weird to me, just taking pictures of random people. I mean, maybe if they were going, because they're at the start of a parade, and she's supposed to ride in a parade, but the parade's not going, so it's not taking pictures of going through the parade. It's taking pictures of people while they're preparing to go through the parade. And not just people, but men. And I just feel a little icky about it. I don't know about you guys, but I feel icky. And so right here it says, while she's she's taking a picture of a horse. But still, right here, I snap a few pictures of the cowboys, and I've noticed one tips his hat, and I capture a wide smile. He's a cutie. The other cowboy, who has his back to me, glances over his shoulder. Oh my. I lift my phone to snap another pic, because that's the kind of photo that gets attention and the kind I'd love to have in my photos just to look at. But he turns back around so fast I can feel the whip of breeze it creates even from far away. The first guy swats the second guy's arms and lifts his eyebrows as he looks at me and shrugs. I wave off the silent apology. What do you mean? Like, the guy doesn't want to have his picture taken. Okay, so don't make somebody feel like they have to have their picture taken, especially by a stranger. But that one, like, you saw my glance. You saw my glance. Like, that's icky. Like, what do you mean to look at? What do you mean? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
They're also talking about, in the beginning, I kind of have some red flags flying. So at first it talks about, we start off, let me just read you this first sentence. If I think of Texas as a Sunday, cowboys are the cherry on top. Okay. Up until now, my appreciation of Wrangler-wearing cowboys has been from afar. I'd love for that to change. Okay, you're looking for roles. Always love the cowboys, the law enforcement, firefighters, an athlete, but what they really don't think about when it comes to being with a person like this is the hours that they put in, because I mean that is their career. They have a lot of hours. I mean, my husband alone on just a normal day works 12 hours. This last week has been a big test of my patience, because since last Saturday he's only had one day off. One, y'all. Tomorrow, thankfully, he'll have a day off. But, you know, that just comes with the territory. So, I just want to put that out there. Like, I hate when, especially kind of authors, romanticizing these types of men without showing the hardship of what it's going to be like with these types of men. Nothing against the authors. I mean, they're writing love stories, but it's not all cupcakes and rainbows. And, you know, sometimes that's why I love books that are just gritty sometimes, because it shows the hardship of life, and it's not all, this is flowers, this is rainbows, woohoo! Why did I do that in that voice? Anyway, I have a lot of red flags so far. Hey y'all, sorry for the light behind me. Also sorry for me kind of whispering. Halfling is asleep. I just nursed him and I don't want to wake him up. I'm also at Wyatt's grandparents' house, so I also don't want them to hear me talk about this because it's bad. It's so bad. Oh my goodness, this girl. I texted my group chat and told the ladies, I was like, this girl is she's horrendous. Absolute horrendous. I'm hoping she gets a redemption arc, because if she stays like this throughout the whole book, I won't be able to do it. I would have to DNF because I don't like this girl that much. But I'm gonna give the author the benefit of the doubt and hope she wrote in like a redemption arc, because right now she's horrible. She is exactly an influencer. She's selfish. She doesn't care about other people. So far she's taken pictures of people without their consent. She talked about taking a picture of the main male character's butt in his Wrangler jeans and her like video that way. Okay, first of all, that's exploitation of somebody without their consent. Even if they have consent, that's still exploitation of somebody, which is pretty horrible in my eyes. By the way, did I mention I'm only in the third like, I just started chapter 3. I've only read the first 2 chapters. And oh my goodness, this girl is just... She has to get up on a horse. The horse spooks. I'm sorry, but if you are not used to horses, if you're not anything like horses, don't lie. Okay, horses are a living creature and they don't need to get injured because you're incompetent and don't need to be on a horse. Okay? Let's get that out there. This girl doesn't need to be on a horse. She gets on the horse. She gets spooked. Horse gets spooked. Rides off. She could have injured a lot of people. She could have injured herself. She could have injured the horse. Main male character, whose name is Grayson, got that because it's a dual point of view, and he ends up rescuing her. He stops the horse, gets her off the horse, all that, and once he gets her away from the crowd that is gathering around, and sees if she's okay, her friend comes up, Bella, and the first thing she asks of Bella is, "Did you get that on video?" Girl, are you freaking kidding me right now? Your social media is the last thing that should be on your mind. One you about could have died, okay? Horses are live, wild animals. Yes, they can be domesticated, but in the end, you can still get hurt. Not only that, you could hurt the horse. I really don't like this light, and I'm trying to find a way to talk to you guys without the light being full on blinded. Maybe this is the best way. Either way, yeah, she could have hurt herself, if not killed herself. Okay, she could have hurt or killed the horse. Because hello, certain horses, if they become lame, most times it all depends on the owner. Really, most times it depends on how bad the lame can be, but they'll have to be put down. She could have injured people in the crowd because of a spooked horse. And the first thing she asks is if her friend got the rescue on video. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? So, there's that. And then I get my next red flag in chapter 3. I'm not even on the full first page of chapter 3. And so it starts with, "My heart sinks when Bella walks back to the table shaking her head. How could the guy leave just like that? He's shy. I get that. But he could have at least given me his name or his number or asked for mine. Is that too much to ask?" Girl, what if you're not his type? You don't have to ask your number. How entitled, the audacity to think that he wants to get with her after this whole ordeal. Really? You see what I mean by this girl needs a redemption arc, and if she does not get a redemption, at least a glimpse of a redemption by the time I hit that 50% or 100 pages, she gotta go. Hello, my lovelies. How's it going? So I DNF'd more than a pair of jeans last night after having between 4 chapters that I read, multiple red flags, and then talking with my husband about it. I just felt more comfortable DNFing it than trying to continue on and just not loving it. So first and foremost, besides what I read to you guys, I did not like the main female character. There was nothing wrong with the male main character. He seemed super sweet. The female main character, I had many issues, and I raged so hard after talking to my husband that I permanently deleted the book from my Kindle. And this morning I'm like, I have to talk about this in my vlog. Why did I do that? Because I could point out more things that were wrong that I did not like. But for the most part, I don't know if I said this in the other one, but she talked about taking a picture of his butt and ending her social media reel with a picture. Oh, how was it worded? Why did I delete that? I needed that. It said like she'll end the reel with the logo on his jeans, which if you know Wrangler jeans, the logo is on the butt. And to me, that feels like exploitation of somebody without their consent. After she is saved by him on the horse, she goes back to the town a few days later and goes to 4 different stores to see if she can find someone who knows his name or someone who knows him in general. And she finds it at a hardware store. The guy that knows him calls him and brings him in, and she takes a picture with him for her social media, which she actually gets his consent on that, and he says, as long as you don't say my name. And instead of just, doing a cute little picture like, hey, it literally says she backs up into him and like leans her back on him. Okay, you're in his personal bubble. And the main reason I have problems with this is if you were to gender switch the roles and everything she did, if you made a guy do, it wouldn't be a rom-com anymore, it'd be a thriller. And that's like my biggest pet peeve, is having narcissistic or stalkerish traits in a woman and making it cute to have a rom-com, but if you were to switch it around, it wouldn't be cute at all. Can we stop this? Just because a woman's doing it doesn't mean it's cute. It's actually annoying, and it's one of my biggest pet peeves ever. And then Kindle-wise, which this vlog is about, the vlog is not about physical books, it's about my Kindle books. I'm going to do Soaring Hearts by Ellie Hartwood, because I don't think I've ever read an Ellie Hartwood book, so I don't know if I'm going to like it. I have read another book in this Alaskan romance, which is by Evangeline Kelly. Yeah. I hate on my books, like if you can see, there's this little check mark, and sometimes like with that, you can see it's in the way of the author's last name. So if you ever see me struggling with trying to figure out an author's last name on Kindle, that is why. So yeah, I've read the first book, and I really loved that book. I think I rated it 4.5 stars. I absolutely loved it. So I'm going to save that one for last, because I have a feeling that I will like that one as well. So let's get into Soaring Hearts by Ellie Hartwood. Guess who's DNFing? Me, I'm DNFing. Why? Well, she has a boyfriend. Like, they haven't full-on broken up yet, though I think it's coming. But she's almost kissed the main male character twice, and he's almost kissed her twice. Guess what? He knows she has a boyfriend because during their second reaction, she blurts out, I have a boyfriend. Excuse me. Okay, and then the second time they were out kayaking, and because he is the kayak instructor, they get wet, and also it starts raining, so yeah, they go to his house, and she okay, so as I was saying, cover his ears because this is naughty. After they get wet and they go to his house, she accepts a towel from him, but tells him to turn around, and then just takes off her shirt and shorts by the door and wraps the towel around herself and then tells him he can turn around, and that's when they have a feeling of the second kiss. So, DNFing. Just no. I know this wasn't a Christian book, but that just made me feel uneasy and icky and all sorts of gross. So, DNFing. Good morning, my lovelies. Why does my hair look gray? Does my hair look gray? Or at least lighter? It's the way the sun is hitting it, but it just looks really light. I don't have a filter on this or anything. That's just... see. Alright guys, the more I think about Soaring Hearts, the more I am convinced that the writer wrote the nice guy Peter at the beginning of the book, her boyfriend, the way she did and made it seem like neither of them had feelings for each other the way she did, so it would like justify the main character's relationship with the male main character, like the female main character with the male main character. And I hate when authors do that, like, because it's so fake and hallmarky. Like, write it a little more believable. Like, you can write people who've been in a relationship for 5 years and they're basically together because that's all they know, and that they've slowly just fallen away from each other. Like, that's not hard to do, but to write it in a way that seems like to justify this woman being with this, like, why not just make her single at the beginning of the book? Like, why did she have to have a boyfriend? And it just made me icky because it seemed like she was trying to justify the cheating. And it was just gross. And for those who are new here and haven't watched me before, I am a Christian, and I mean that in a way that is, I'm not a Christian in name, I'm a Christian in practice. And that means that I follow Jesus' teaching, and Jesus teaches that the minute you start lusting after somebody else, you are cheating. So, from my perspective, this woman was already cheating. And the fact that they almost had 2 moments where they kissed, and one of those moments she was just in a towel, that's icky. That is beyond icky. And the fact that she felt so comfortable to just strip and put a towel around herself, even though his back was turned, he was still in the room, and like either way, he was very close, and she felt comfortable to do that on a complete stranger. Like, no, that was just icky feeling. So, with that being said, I'm just very glad that I DNF'd that book, because I don't think I could have taken any more of that. And when I read reviews of people and they're like, oh, this was so cute, and I'm like, but she was with her boyfriend. Like, you don't even have to be a Christian, but there is a principle. If you're with somebody and you're thinking about somebody else, call it off. Like, even if you don't have feelings and stuff, call it off and then get with that other person. Because it says a lot more about you cheating than it does say about your affection to someone else. Like, I don't care if you guys didn't have, like, the relationship was done and stuff. Cheating is cheating. So, anyway, moving on to my other book. I had a feeling I wasn't going to like this guy's sister from the synopsis, and let me tell you what, I don't like his sister. His sister is someone that would, in real life, if it was someone of my family that did this, I would be annoyed. I would definitely lay boundaries, and I'd be coming out as the a-hole of everything because of how I would probably handle the situation. And I try to handle things delicately, but sometimes I'm a lot more abrasive when I'm trying to handle things delicately. And yeah, but anyway, so his sister helps him out with the baby. And to kind of, I don't think I have not read the synopsis to this in this video, but I have read the synopsis of this in my TBR video. And basically this guy, the main male character and the female main character are going, obviously they're going to have a relationship. It's called Engaged to the Alaskan Man, obviously. I don't think I've said that in this video, though, that I am moving on to this Engaged to the Alaskan Man by Evangeline Kelly. So I have read an Evangeline Kelly before, and they're really great short novels or novellas. And if you're just wanting something super cute, super fast, I would recommend her off of her one book. And this one, so Finn is our main male character. His wife has passed away to colon cancer, and his best friends were in an accident taking their son to the ER because he had a fever. So fair warning, there is explanation of their death. Nothing gruesome, doesn't show it, but it does explain it. So there is a child death in this. And they had left their baby daughter with a neighbor so they could take care of their son and go and take him to the hospital. They got in a wreck. Guy fell asleep and hit head on. So, with that being there, this guy, Finn's sister, helps him with the baby when he needs it. And this sister is just like creepy beyond all means. Well, not creepy beyond all means, but to me, she's a little overly attached to her brother and his life and like the people in his life, if that makes sense. And I'm going to explain why I think that. So he comes home from the grocery store, and this is how it opens. I'm on page 7. And he sees his sister sitting at his kitchen table going through his wedding album. That's just weird to me. Like, I can understand, like, wanting to just, like, reminisce once in a while, but this is where it gets weird. At first, you guys are probably like, that's not that weird, Jamie. It's about to be weird, okay? The unspoken message was, I didn't think you'd catch me looking at your wedding pictures for the second time this week. This week. Twice. Okay, so how many times has she looked at his wedding album since his wife has died? Like, that's a little weird to me. Like, anyway, this is how it's explained. Melissa and Zoe had been close. In fact, Melissa was a bridesmaid for Zoe, and she was like an older sister Zoe had never had. Melissa took it hard when Zoe found out she had cancer, and she was there for us, bringing over meals and offering encouraging words. My sister was one of the most loyal people I knew. When she loved someone, she gave everything she had 100% of the time, even to her own detriment. Someone needs counseling. That's not healthy. That is so not healthy. But anyway, jumping down, this is where I really know I'm not going to like this sister. So he leaves his baby's room because he went and checked on her, and we'll go from here. When I returned to the living room, Melissa was packing a few items in a black duffel bag, and my gaze caught on a pair of Kara's shoes as she laid them inside and zipping the top. My head jerked back in surprise. "Are you headed somewhere?" She glanced at me. Her eyes clouded as if her thoughts were elsewhere. "What? Yeah, of course I'm going home." "Why are you taking Kara's shoes?" She frowned, seeming genuinely confused. "I'm bringing her with me. I told you that Carter and I are going away for the weekend. Mom and Dad are watching Annabelle and Simon." Pause the phone. "You and your husband are going somewhere. You're not taking your own kids, but you're going to take your brother's adoptive child?" "No, absolutely not." "Why wasn't I informed of this? I told you." "No, you said you and Carter were heading out of town. You never said you wanted to take Kara." She straightened and the corners of her mouth tightened in annoyance. "I thought I told you. Is this going to be a problem?" "Yeah, that's his daughter. That's not yours." "She's not yours." My back tensed and... I skipped 2 words. My shoulders and back tensed up, and I felt a sense of uneasiness. Melissa had become very attached to Kara, and sometimes she made decisions about her welfare without consulting me. See, this is where I would be the a-hole in the family, because I'd be laying down the law. Look, this is my kid. This is not your kid. You don't get to make decisions. That's final. Like, I would not be gracious when it comes to my kids and somebody else trying to parent them. No, I would be laying down some law, especially if it was my sibling wanting to take my child away without my acknowledgement. No way. Well, anyway, he tells her, "Actually, I wanted her to stay here with me." She frowned and set the duffel bag down, still holding on the handles as if waiting for me to change my mind. "I just thought you'd like to have some time for yourself." Her words took the fight out of me. It wouldn't have taken the fight out of me. I would have had more fight added on. And the muscles in my shoulders loosened. She was doing what she always done, putting others before herself. "That doesn't seem like what's going on here, bro." "You already help me 5 days a week. Please go and enjoy your weekend with Carter. Kara and I will be fine." "It's no trouble," her voice wavered the slightest bit. "I'd be happy to take her along. You need your rest. You've been looking worn down lately." Is that gaslighting? To me, I'm reading that as gaslighting. There was a prickling at the back of my neck, and I once again reminded that I needed to draw attention. I needed to draw appropriate boundaries. "I appreciate your assistance, but she's my daughter, and I want to spend time with her too." Yes, lay down that law. Moving on. Her head fell forward in disappointment, and she pursed her lips. "Well, feel free to call if you need anything. We'll only be a couple hours away, so I can come home. Mom and Dad are here if something comes up. Don't give us another thought." She looked like she wanted to protest, but she finally shrugged. All right, the corners of her mouth tipped up slightly in a strained smile, and I could tell she wasn't happy about my decision. She unzipped the bag, pulled the shoes out, and handed them to me. I'm not going to read the rest of it. We're going to leave it at that. But that is so unhealthy. If I had a sister like that, I'd be laying down some law. I'd be like, "Look, you can help me, but you're overstepping your bounds. And that's not okay with me. This is what's going to happen. And if you can't follow this, then you are not allowed to watch my child." No, that's the first interaction with the sister. So if she's having this interaction with the brother, can you imagine what it's gonna be like when the female main character comes on scene and they're having a relationship and he, is progressing? Obviously it says engaged, so I'm gonna assume they're going to get engaged. Can you imagine what this sister's gonna be like down the road? And the fact that her and her husband are going to go away on a weekend trip. They're not going to take their kids, but she thought it was going to be okay to take her brother's adoptive daughter, is what I was like, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, that is all sorts of red flag. So we'll see. I don't think I'm going to DNF this one. I mean, it's 177 pages. So it's not super long. I don't have a problem with the main character so far. I mean, I've only met Finn. And so far, I just wish she would lay down saying, hey, I need you to understand that Kara's my child. And you cannot make plans with her without asking me and getting my okay. I'm glad he laid down the law, but still, like, okay. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. All right, y'all. This sister is completely and utterly nuts. Like, she's completely and utterly nuts. But she has sense. He has come home one time after working in an orchard. He owns and works in an orchard. So Finn comes home and his sister is holding his daughter, and he sits down and like kind of reaches out, like giving the hint of, you can hand her over. And his sister doesn't do it. Like, she doesn't give up the child. And they have like a conversation, and she keeps like, he has to hint, like, this is my daughter. And she still hasn't given his child. That would drive me insane to no end. Then, he's getting ready to fly to Arizona to meet the female main character for the very first time. I do not have a good feeling about this. Not because the main character and the female main character, like, I don't have a problem with those two meeting. It's the fact that his sister is gonna have Kara, the baby, overnight for like 2 nights. I have a feeling like she's not gonna want to give up the daughter when he gets home from Arizona. I don't have a good feeling of when he gets home and he's gonna have to like confront his sister. And like, he has hinted at, hey, I'm gonna get married in the future in this. And she, instead of being supportive like everyone else instead of being supportive of the whole thing, she literally goes, well, hold on, let me get my Kindle so I can just tell you guys what she says. Okay, got my Kindle. So the first time he mentions Annie to his sister, he tells her about Annie, and she says, oh honey, she gave me a pitying smile. You made it sound like you have a real prospect. What you've got is a pen pal. Ooh. Passive aggressive much. They said, where were we? I could feel myself deflating. Yeah, you're probably right, but we'll see how it goes. Is that the same Jasmine Natalie tried to set you up with? I nodded. Jasmine would have been perfect for you if she'd been willing to stick around. Not really. We had a platonic friendship and that's it. Well, don't go getting your hopes up about this new woman. Keep it realistic. She's unlikely to move to Alaska, and you don't need another heartbreak after all you've been through. How to be unsupportive while being supportive at the same time. Because, quite frankly, yeah, he doesn't need it. He's gonna probably experience heartbreak getting back into the rhythm of things after having what he did. But, girl, why so harsh? And then, let me get past Annie's chapter, okay, now we're in chapter 5, page 42 of 177. And he's getting ready to fly out. And she goes, don't get your hopes up. Setups like these rarely work. You're a piece of work. And the other statement she says, to be honest, I think it's too soon to start a relationship, but you're going to do whatever you want. Like, everyone else is on board with him, or at least it's kind of a tell, not show kind of book. And it says she was the only one who thought that because everyone, including our parents, had been encouraging me to move forward. It wasn't up to her though, so I ignored it and moved on. Like, I do not like this sister at all. She is so passive-aggressive about things, and I have a bad feeling. Really? I just have a bad feeling of when he comes back to Alaska after being in Arizona. Good morning, everyone. Ignore last night's dishes, because that's what I'm doing right now. I'll deal with them in a few minutes, okay? Here, how about that? Because it's really bright right there. I finished my third Kindle book. What can I say about that? Well, you heard me complain about the sister. Well, finally you kind of figure out. I mean, she does some other things that make you want to, like, crash out, but you finally figure out, like, why she's doing what she's doing. It doesn't make it right, but you can now give her the grace to do, like, yeah. I still don't like her. I really don't. By the way, Black Rifle Coffee Bourbon. Perfect. It smells so amazing.
Was that coffee?
It is coffee.
Smell it?
No, I'm smelling it. You don't need to smell it. You're already hyper. You know, I really need to do what hubby's grandma does and just have that ready at night and then have it programmed at a certain time to go and start brewing, because, I mean, it's fancy enough to do it. And she's got a less fancier one to do it, and it does that. I really should do that, you know? That way I'm not doing this in the morning. It's like, coffee's there! What do I feel about it? Quite frankly, I skimmed a lot of it, and just, I didn't like it as much as her first book in the series. The first book in the series I absolutely loved. I adored her main male character in that one. He is like the epitome of green flag. And that one, if you love Marriage of Convenience, Married to an Alaskan Man, that's the first one in this book, in the series. But pretty much this one, I just didn't like it as much. I wanted it to be done and over with, and it felt like it dragged. And it's 177 pages. If you are making me feel like your book's dragging and it's 177 pages, yeah. I just liked her first book in the series versus this one. This one just, I wanted more from the characters actually growing together. This one really felt like a show, or not a show, a tale versus a show, because I could not connect with either of the characters. And the female main character, Annie, she goes through something very big in her past, and I felt like nothing for it when she was telling her testimony. I was like, okay. Yay. I don't know. This one just, it didn't hit the way her first book did. So, either way, I have finished my first book of March, and technically finished all my Kindle books because I DNF'd the 3 and finished 1. I really thought this video was going to take a little bit longer, but not when you DNF 2 books. Someone wants to know what kind of humor my husband has. This is it. I don't know if I can put it on my states challenge because you would think I could do it in Alaska, but it's actually 50-50 Arizona and Alaska, and I don't want to put 2 on both states, so I don't think I'm going to use it for the state challenge because, I mean, quite frankly, I have other books that are set in Alaska. I have right now on my Kindle Buried by Elizabeth Goddard. That one's set in Alaska. And I've been kind of in a crime mood. I don't know if it's because I'm rewatching Bones, but I'm kind of in a romantic suspense crime mood. So I'm going to try Elizabeth Goddard. This will be my first time actually sitting down to fully read it, because I did try reading Buried before, but I wasn't in the mood, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pause this, wait until I'm in the mood. So I think I'm gonna restart that. But this is pretty much the end of the vlog, so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.